Hi, and welcome to Information Talks by Sigma Technology. This is a series of small talks where we take up issues that relates to technical information and different aspects you can have on it. And the material is available on social media and YouTube. Today we're going to talk about product information and the differences and similarities with user experience.
Yeah, today we're at our head office in Gothenburg, and we're going to talk exactly about what Malin talked about. So I'm Jason Brim. I've worked with product information for about 12 years with various different companies, products and industries, and I work here at Sigma Technology Information as a team manager. And I have Malin Hammarberg with me, who works for one of our sister companies, Sigma Technology Digital Solutions, and you work with UI, UX and accessibility. We've talked together before, but I still don't quite understand what you do and how it's similar to product information. What is it?
Yeah, hi. So I'm Malin Hammarberg and I work at Sigma Technology Digital Solutions as head of UX and accessibility. And I work with usability, user experience and accessibility. And usability is how we make a user solve a problem, a digital problem, as easily and intuitive as possible. User experience is that the user having a good time solving the problem, and after using the product doesn't feel that it was something bad or sad. They leave with a smile on their face instead. And accessibility is how we create a user experience that works for everyone, no matter what their age are or where they're from or if they have any disabilities or impairments. You and I usually talk a lot about how I like to keep stuff simple when I design for the user, that I take the need for the user in that situation, try to solve that problem and not just look at what technology we have and just throw everything at the user. And I think that's a similar approach in technical information.
That is my main approach. Depends on the product and the company, what the requirements are. But I think keeping things as simple as possible is usually the best experience for everyone. So even if you're a rocket scientist, if I give you a book about rocket science aimed for children, you're going to understand it. But if I give a child a rocket science book for university graduates or doctors, then they're not going to understand it. So when it comes to usability, that's also part of my job. And the experience, maybe I don't put a smile on their face, but I don't want them to think, oh, I can't use this product, and they leave with a frown on their face at least. So it's about keeping things simple, making sure that the user understands what they're supposed to do, potentially understands if there are risks, and can use the products. And if they want more information, maybe there's another place that we can guide them to go if they do want high-level information.
Interesting. We do a lot of test with the user to see what their true needs are and where the pain points of a product are, to find out where we should put some more effort and create an even better user experience or a better usability. How do you work with the
benchmarking and so on? Yeah, it's the same. Sometimes we don't know who our user is. Sometimes we can't speak to them. When we can, it's a good idea to actually do that. But otherwise, we look at what other previous products we've written for example, or if we're able to look at what competitors do and see how they write for this particular product area or for this particular target group. And that's where the simplicity comes in. Can we make something simpler? Can we make something better? Can we make the product information a unique selling point potentially for this product or for this user?
Yeah, we do a lot of benchmarking as well, where we look at different products from a perspective where what works very well in this product and what works not as well. And if we develop something that's new, totally new on the market, and we don't have anything to benchmark against, we still look at other projects to to see how they solve different problems that might be similar, or other products that the user really likes, and what can we learn from those products. But we also look at the user situation. So what is the drivers for the user to use a product? What do they value? And we've seen that more and more users become more and more value driven. So more users expect a product from a company to reflect the values from the company. So if a company says they are inclusive and sustainable, they expect the talks and the products also to mirror that. And I know that sustainability is a big issue in the world, and we are more and more value driven, and it's even more noticeable in the younger population, where they look even more to companies to actually own up to inclusion and sustainability. Sustainability, I know you and me been talking about, it's a big part of technical information, how you use the product and how you can retire the product.
Yeah.
Correct?
Repair, reuse, recycle. If you can take the product apart and use the individual components. I think it's something that was important 50 years ago, became less important when production in China happened and products became cheaper and you could just replace them. But now it's becoming, like you say, people want to know they're buying a product from a company that then fixes things rather than just throws them on a scrap heap. So we work with more than just you as a user. When you buy a product, you see one user guide, but we also write things for the aftermarket, for the whole product life cycle. So it could be repair manuals, it could be troubleshooting, it could be, like I said, how you dismantle the product for the individual parts to then be able to reuse or recycle those parts as well. So we have different user groups and different purposes for the information, but it's become much more important again for the whole life cycle and showing these values that, okay, we're a company that sees this as important as an environmental issue perhaps, and this is why we have a whole area of product life cycle management where we can, like you say, if you need to retire a product as well, what's that process? I think one of the easiest ways to see sustainability, ethical issues within product information, and it's the simplest one, it's the one I look at every day at least when I do the washing, is in clothes labels. Sometimes it says, please wash me at 30 degrees, it's better for the environment. And it's these sorts of things that we see coming in that companies want you to, could you please just put in some slight ethical value in the product information in some easy way. And that's the easiest, most everyday one that I notice at least.
Yeah, this is so interesting. I really like talking with you. We have discussed the similarities, and I love seeing and understanding the user and the user needs, but I can't write to save my life. So I'm so happy you guys exist, because it's not my part. I'm a bit of dyslexic as well, so nobody really can read what I write anyway. So, but more and more technical writers are becoming UX content writers as well, correct?
Yeah, it's not something I've done. I've been involved in the process myself, but it's something that started off because of, like, I'm writing for a product or a system, and then I see, okay, we're writing in British English, but you're using American English terms, or I see you write log in one place, you write log on in another place, and it's about consistency. So maybe it started with technical writers being frustrated and sending emails, could you please fix this? And so on. And then eventually, it's like with the sustainability thing, that companies are seeing a value in content to do with sustainability. They're also seeing a value in consistency throughout the whole product. So not just the product information and the product separately, they now see how they're actually one and the same thing. So that's how a lot of technical writers come in as UI, UX content writers and editors and terminologists and so on as well. So I think it's very important for consistency.
Yeah, I that's one of my guiding stars as well, to be consistent, because it's extremely important for the user to have a button named the same all over the web page, all over the apps for a company, and not try to figure out if send is the same as the aeroplane or stuff. So this is something we work with constantly, and it's also very related to accessibility, because if the user interface is intuitive, it's easier for user to understand. So consistency is a big part of that. But there are some differences we keep talking about as well, because all I produce, since I'm a UXer for digital content like apps and web pages, I never produce anything physical to hold in. But that's a difference, isn't it, Jason?
Yeah. Some products have legal requirements that they must have a printed manual, for example, or you don't know who your user is, and they might go into the field or into somewhere where they need to use the product information, and they get a printed copy from their employer, for example. So that's the main difference, as far as I'm aware of, that we sometimes or always actually have to have a physical printed manual as well. But then there's, like I said, considering these other constraints, when I first started working as a technical writer, my mentor told me, okay, but you need to consider what type of screen they're using. We assume they have a big screen, but maybe they're using an old CRT monitor. Maybe it's very low resolution. Maybe when they print the guide, they print it in black and white. So if I have blue, green and red, they look different in color, but when I print them out in black and white, maybe they actually all appear the same color. So there's all these things. Maybe they're going to work out, do their work in minus 40 degrees up a telephone mast in the Himalayas. There's all these other things that I don't know, but I have to consider. I might not write based on these things, but I have to consider these things. And that's why simplicity is key. If I can have 5 steps instead of 25 steps, that at least makes it easier for this person climbing up the telephone mast to remember they have 5 things to do and the order to do them in.
Oh, I love you saying that, because that's very, very related to my favorite subject, accessibility. Looking at contrast and looking at digital products working in black and white is a big aspect when you talk about color blindness and visual impairments. Looking at different screen sizes, being able to zoom in if you have a visual impairment. It's all parts of things I consider every day in every product I do to make them usable for as many users as possible. So even when we think we are different, we actually have the same mindset and same approach to
exactly.
Yes,
but
different
you still don't print
outcomes. Anything. No, still don't print anything. Do not print my app. I'm looking so much forward to actually get to work with you someday, or one of your colleagues. It would be really fun.
Preferably me.
Yeah, preferably you. Yeah. Of course, Jason.
But yeah, that would be really great. I think that would be something that would be good. We could sit here and talk all day. I can imagine we've done it a few times before, but unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. So for today's information talk about product information, UI, UX, similarities, and one difference at least. That's all we have time for today. So the rest of the series you can find on our YouTube channel. Please comment below with your experiences, your thoughts as well. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at informationtalks@sigmatechnology.se. Thank you very much for today. Thank you, Malin.
Thank you.